We're almost done, baby! Hey, Mean Matt here. Well, WrestleMania 26. A new decade. A new year. So, anyways, this was pretty much a cool year only because I got to see one of my favorite childhood wrestlers come back. Bret the Hitman Hart came back to the WWE, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I think that coming down and trying to make amends with Shawn Michaels, which he did, I think was very cool. You saw the DVD that came out, and Bret and Shawn had a historic feud. Most of it was good, but the majority of it was terrible. It was cool that they were able to make amends, you know. Unfortunately, I think that the whole meeting with Vince McMahon was probably cool backstage, but they made it out that this year at WrestleMania they were going to have Vince McMahon versus Bret Hart. Now, what an interesting match that was. Anyways, so we get the dark match, which we had Yoshi Tatsu, who eliminated Zack Ryder, the last two wrestlers in the Battle Royal. And Yoshi Tatsu went to New Japan, which I think is very cool. Zack Ryder, of course. Oh, I'll get to the crap that ended up at WrestleMania of last year. But anyway, Zack Ryder, always a good wrestler. Someday he will get his due, I fucking swear. Anyways, Yoshi Tatsu won the Battle Royal. Then we get to the WWE WrestleMania 26. We have ShoMiz, which was the Big Show and the Miz, who were the United Tag Team Champions. So, and SmackDown Tag. So, it's funny because, you know, this is when they decided that they weren't going to, or they wanted to unify the championship belts. I'm not sure at this point if this was Raw and SmackDown brand split. And if it was, then these two guys can go to either show, which I thought was a good idea. Anyways, they defeated John Morrison and R-Truth. R-Truth is gone now. I don't know where he went. I think he got canned. And John Morrison is in Mexico. Got no respect for that guy. But anyways, there it is. Then we get a triple threat match, which... okay. Not something that I was interested in. But, I mean, because all three of them were in Legacy. And then you had Manu, who was the son of, I believe, Alpha. So Legacy was a good idea, but then Alpha split. So it's just the three guys. But these two had a triple threat match. I think this is where Randy Orton was going to turn face, or maybe not. I can't seem to remember that part. Anyways, of course, Randy Orton wins this match. And then we have the Money in the Bank ladder match, at the time, the traditional WrestleMania match. We had Jack Swagger, Christian, Dolph Ziggler, Kane, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, Matt Hardy, Evan Bourne, Drew McIntyre, and Kofi Kingston. What's interesting is two of these guys are in TNA. One guy was in Ring of Honor, and then you have one guy who retired. And then one guy that just got shit canned. And that guy won the Money in the Bank this year. to become the world champion. Can't remember who he faced. I think he waited for that. Unless... Yeah, I can't remember who he beat for the world championship. Yeah. Where Jack Ryder won. Then we get Triple H versus Sheamus. Now, everyone said that Sheamus was the protege, or whatever, to Triple H. Okay, and, interesting. So, I don't know how true that is. I mean, it's probably true. Drew McIntyre, and, of course, the chosen one, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus were handpicked, I guess, by Sheamus. Anyways, you would think that maybe Sheamus could go over, but of course, it has to go to Triple H. That's kind of irritating, because, you know, it's like the guy who fucking wants to hog the glory, and he keeps burying the new talent, which at the time was Sheamus. It's kind of embarrassing when you consider him your favorite wrestler. Then you get Rey Mysterio, who defeated CM Punk, which was not the hair versus hair match, but this was a good match. Big fan of CM Punk. This was when he was in the Straight Edge Society. He would eventually have the hair versus hair match with CM Punk. Loses, gets his hair cut, which happened. But if Rey Mysterio won, yeah, but if he lost, then he would have to join the Straight Edge Society. So this match is cool. I especially like that SmackDown one, where it was Rey's daughter's birthday, and then he sang happy birthday to her. Not only just to have the Straight Edge Society come out, and then when they leave, you had CM Punk deliver that haunting happy birthday thing, which I thought was cool, but this led to WrestleMania, and Rey Mysterio going over. And then we get to the No Holds Barred Lumberjack match with Bret Hart, a special guest referee. What was interesting about this match, I read earlier, is that the Hart family didn't get along. This was their first time together in the same building, apparently. Inducting their father, no less, Stu Hart. Surprising and sad at the same time. I'm not sure what the hell is going on, but these two, or these individuals, siblings, are, I guess, bitter, including Bret Hart. Very weird how that's going on right now, but... So the storyline goes, it was going to be Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon. Of course, Vince can't wrestle worth shit. Apparently, well, he did have some good matches, but no, he can't wrestle, I guess. Very sloppy. And that Bret Hart, who came into the WWE, first time at the time in 12 years. A guy who had a stroke in 2002. So it wasn't the best, unfortunately. And, so... Yeah, unfortunately that happened. Bret Hart defeated McMahon, though. Sharpshooter. Of course, there was very many chair shots to Vince. Which kind of, you know, was not something that I really enjoyed seeing a lot of. Because it reminded me of the whole Stone Cold turning heel at WrestleMania 17. But this was an interesting match. It wasn't as bad as I thought when I saw it the second time. Yeah, Bret Hart being one of my favorite wrestlers. And unfortunately, you know, with the shape he was in and the health he was in, he couldn't wrestle as well as he used to. But also, in a match he had with The Miz, was really lame. Because he ended up giving the belt, the U.S. belt, to someone. Weird. And he won it in Toronto, which was, you know, cool. But you knew that he wouldn't keep the belt. So anyways, Bret beats Vince. I guess justice, like I said before, Vince McMahon always likes to do right by his boys who have had issues with him. You know, you have the match with Hogan and Michaels at WrestleMania, and now Bret, which I think was cool. Then we get the World Championship match. Chris Jericho versus Edge. Now, Edge won the 2010 Royal Rumble, which I thought was cool. I'm not quite sure what happened because, you know, this is where I would say, yeah, the Royal Rumble winner always doesn't win the match. Not all the time. You know, The Rock being one of the examples from WrestleMania 2000. So, Edge pretty much didn't beat Chris Jericho. So Chris Jericho retains, and Edge gets the belt eventually and defends it in the next year at WrestleMania 27, which I'll get to that abortion tomorrow. But anyways, this was a very interesting match. You know, I always enjoy these two wrestlers. I think that these guys are better, were in a better tag team until Edge got injured. Coming back and then being in the Royal Rumble, you know, would have been good to see him as the new champion get a triumph over Y2J, but it must have got injured at some point because it didn't happen. But there you go. Then we got John Cena versus Batista for the WWE Championship. And these two, you know, being the last two guys that eliminated each other at the Royal Rumble 2005, you know, it was cool to see them go face to face, especially for the WWE Championship. Now this is where Batista was a heel, coming as a heel, beating the shit out of Rey Mysterio, his best friend, being the guy that was just a heel, something like it was back in Evolution. But yeah, so John Cena wins as TFU, becomes the new WWE champion. This was a good match. You know, I do think that Batista is kind of you know, not fair when people diss him. You know, yeah, he probably should have won the 2014 Royal Rumble, but you know, the needs credit where credit is due. He was a pretty cool wrestler and a pretty cool bad guy. And it was awesome just to see Batista become WWE champion. He was always the world champion, but never WWE champion. So that was pretty cool in itself. But yeah, John Cena becoming the new champion. I forgot the Divas match. 10 Diva tag match. Michelle McCool, Layla, and Maryse, and Alicia Fox and Vickie Guerrero defeated Mickie James, Kelly, Eve, Torres, Gail Kim, and Beth Phoenix. This is probably Gail Kim's last time at WWE before going back to TNA. Yeah. And then, of course, Maryse, who just came back last year to be in her husband Miz's corner. And Layla, who is somewhere else, I'm not sure, but she's no longer in WWE. And Michelle McCool's also gone and married to The Undertaker. But yeah, so that team won. Anyways, then we get to the main event. Now, it was cool how it happened. You had The Undertaker coming up from the ramp, unless that was a camera angle. But first, you had Shawn Michaels, who was dressed like The Undertaker, except it was in white. You know, the fedora hat was white, the trench coat was white. Him coming down from the heavens into the ring was pretty cool. Then you get him taking off the hat, that shit-eating grin that he had, or has, and the cross eyes. That was a cool entrance, I can't deny that. But then you get Undertaker coming out. And, yeah. So this was the second match. Last year they fought, the last time they fought, this year, they're in Phoenix, where Shawn Michaels was born. Not San Antonio, surprisingly. But yeah, this was cool. This was a match where if Shawn Michaels lost, then he would retire, which obviously he did. And this is the point now where I start to respect Shawn Michaels. I never respected Shawn Michaels just for the fact that here's a guy who was not only a pompous dirtbag back in the day. The fact of the matter is, yeah, okay, whatever. He became born-again Christian. Who cares? I don't. It doesn't mean shit to me. But also, having a guy who would lose at a WrestleMania, come out on Raw, and then complain why he didn't win. Make excuses on why he didn't win. And that's why I don't respect people like that. And then there was obvious, okay, he's a born-again whatever. He's a changed man, but there were still shades of the old Shawn Michaels where he didn't like to lose to certain people. Kind of like Triple H, but... Anyways, this match happened, and Shawn Michaels lost, and, you know, just being in the middle of the ring, standing there, and the audience up on their feet, and cheering him, and his tearful WWE, how he, you know, just the way he was. So, all in all, this was a good WrestleMania. I think that, you know, you have a lot of good matches. You have a match with a really cool wrestler, but it wasn't as good as I thought. And then you get the second match of the year, of the two guys that fought the year before, in a retirement match. This was a good WrestleMania. But next year, well, am I gonna have fun with that one? What a crock of shit that will be. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Yes. So... Fuck!